Hi guys, my name's Jamie.
I'm Ethan.
And we're the Bloody Essentials podcast. Unfortunately, Nina couldn't join us tonight, but we do have some awesome guests we're going to introduce in a moment. First of all, just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who has liked, subscribed, listened, shared. It really, really helps us. And we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you ever have a movie suggestion or an idea for the podcast, please let us know. If you aren't already following us on social, please do that. Special shout out to our Patreon, Rick. Whoop, whoop. Thanks for being such a great supporter and such an awesome, awesome friend. If you guys are interested in some Patreon perks, go ahead and check out our Patreon because we do have some pretty cool stuff there. And I'm going to pass it over to Ethan to talk about some events we have coming up.
All right, guys, we got a couple of good things going on. October 24th, which is a Thursday at 7:30 p.m., we are going to be at Sound Growler Brewing in Tinley Park for a live trivia event. There will be giveaways for everybody who shows up and prizes for those who win. So come on out, say hi, take some pictures, have a beer, support Bloody Essentials, and support Sound Growler. The next time we are going to be anywhere doing anything together is going to be at Days of the Dead Chicago, November 22nd through the 24th. Now, I'm very excited because all three of us will be together.
Yeah.
We don't have a table, but we're going obviously just as patrons. But we want you to come up, say hi, take a picture so we can get you on our socials, have a drink. Let's talk some horror. Mm-hmm. Now, tonight we have a couple of guests here. We have the owners of Nethercrafts, Jeffrey and Luke. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We are actually on our way home from a market, so we decided to pull off the road for a few moments just so we can give our full undivided attention. But we're super excited to be doing this with you guys, and we appreciate you having us.
We appreciate you being here, and we're glad you pulled over because we like horror, but not real life horror.
Yeah. We're not trying to be a part of the horror.
Exactly. So why don't you guys go ahead and tell us how you came about with Nethercrafts?
Well, we were doing arts and crafts just for fun in his basement. We've been together for a couple months at that point. And I wanted to do tie-dye. So we did some tie-dye with a friend of ours. Had a great time, and Jeffrey was like, well, I want to do resin. So we, sat down to do a little resin one day, and I became just completely obsessed with it. And I just started cranking out a ton of stuff. And Jeffrey was getting upset because there was more than we could realistically keep. He was like, why don't you just start selling some of this junk? And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So he had a drag show, I think it was in March, at the Out of Space in Berwyn. It was a really great show. And they had us set up our little Nethercrafts table outside on the patio, and it was a huge hit. We made we were surprised with how much we were able to sell and how receptive everybody there was. So we got into doing markets. We met someone there, Brienne of Frankenworks, who we adore.
We love her.
Yeah, she was incredible. We call her our street arts auntie.
She's our godmother. Ungodly mother.
Ungodly mother, yeah. And she hooked us up with Street Arts, which is a group on Facebook, curated mostly by John Streets, who is incredible. And we just started lining up markets. And Jeffrey and I, we came up with, well, he actually came up with Nether, and I was like, oh, Nethercrafts. So we just kind of, and we just kind of hit it up with all of these markets and all of the stuff we were doing. And it's been so exciting and very unreal how quickly we became part of this whole community of artists. It's been really fun.
Excellent.
That is so awesome.
So it was about March that Luke started. And for a while I was definitely more invested in drag by the name of Lucille Fulfer. Most people call me Lucifer. And I've been doing drag for, nearly 13 years.
Wow.
So I was fully invested in drag for most of the time that we knew each other at that point, and wasn't even looking for a different art form. So when he started doing it, or the first show he did at my drag show, most all of the art was his pieces, and he really took initiative to, build this company. And eventually I was like, a dabble too. Like, I want to start trying to do this. And I kind of, just like him, just really dove deep into it.
And to be completely fair, even when it was like, me doing it, he was still throwing like a ton of time. Like he was like sanding my stuff for me
Yeah.
and like, buying me like new molds and like just all of this like ridiculous stuff that he absolutely did not have to do. So when it came time for him to like, be a bigger part of it, it was like, it was a ready hit thing too at that point. That was, just
Yeah.
a natural transition.
But we do consider ourselves babies in the like arts and curated industry, just because this is the first year we've been doing it, and it has only been a few months. So we dove pretty deep pretty quick, but we still have a lot to learn, especially when it comes to doing all the markets and whatnot. But it's been so much fun.
Excellent.
And
Jamie, you got any
you guys
questions?
make yeah, you guys make
Thank
beautiful
you.
stuff. And I was kind of wondering, like, are you guys horror movie fans? And if so, what got you into that?
So,
I don't even remember how I got into horror. It's just been like a part of my life since I can remember remembering. My cousin and I, we basically like Dom. We, grew up basically living together for most of our lives. And, pretty much every night, he'd spend the night or I'd be over at his house and we'd always like put on a horror movie before we like passed out. So I've just always been big on horror. It's funny because like I didn't see like a lot of the classics for a very long time. We would just like watch like the shittiest, Comcast originals on like, you know, DVR or whatever it was. Uh, so I've seen like a lot of like very niche horror, I guess is what you could say. Um,
Yeah.
and recently I've been getting into like more of like classics and like finally seeing all of these like masterpieces.
and I have been a huge horror fan since I like to say since I popped out of the womb. I feel
Yes.
like it was
Okay.
definitely a born this way kind of thing. But I should credit my father. When I was a kid, I think my first horror movie ever was Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead.
Awesome.
And so I'm a huge zombie. We're actually currently watching every Walking Dead series that there is. We just finished Fear a couple days ago,
Awesome.
and now we're watching Tales of the Walking Dead. So I'm like a huge zombie fan, but I am super partial to like the classics. So I think one of my earliest horror movies that I actually remember watching would be The Bride of Chucky.
Oh, I
And
love
I
Bride of
think
Chucky.
it definitely gives very queer,
Yes.
but I do love like the queer iconic horror films, and I've just been a horror fan ever since. And it is definitely like a lifestyle for me, especially with drag. All of my drag has been 24/7 horror. So yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any like markets coming up that you're going to be doing that you wanted to promote? Like, where can people find you next?
A whole lot of them are actually we're extremely excited for our next market
Yes.
coming up, which is Bizarre Bazaar, run by Rogue Syndicate. I think it's literally like the second year if I'm doing
This might be like fourth year.
fourth.
I believe so.
Okay, it's a fairly new thing, but it like really just blew up. And we met them at Sound Growler actually. We
Okay.
were like packing up, and she was hanging out with Brienne, who happened to be next to us that day. And she told us about this. It's like this huge, like kind of like dark, macabre kind of show filled with like 150. Is
I
that
think
it?
so.
Like
Plus, yeah.
or more vendors, who all do just like creepy, scary stuff. So we have been dying to do this for like months now, or maybe it's been like a couple months. I don't know. Time is a weird thing for me, but we are so excited because it's finally coming up, and everyone who's done it that we've talked to is that it's been just like phenomenal. So check out
Okay.
Bizarre.
Where and when?
Bizarre. Let me get the exact details so I'm not just spewing some random
Okay.
facts here.
Sure.
I know for us it's a little bit of a cruise because we're in Forest Park and Oak Park, which is right outside the city of Chicago.
Yep.
So this one is actually it's in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Oh, Valparaiso. Okay.
Yeah, at the Porter County Expo Center.
Okay.
Awesome.
Do we have a date?
Like, halfway
Yeah, and it runs from 12 to 6, and that is next Saturday.
on the 28th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing the 28th.
Yeah. Please. From what we hear from a lot of the other vendors that we've worked with that have done the show in the past, we've had nothing but good responses from it, and everyone's like, "You guys need to do this show." So we were lucky enough to actually get in last minute.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the applications were nearly closed, if not like just closing. And I know a lot of people have been really excited to get into the show and have been on it for a while. And we're babies, is what we say. So
Right.
we were lucky enough to be able to get into it super last minute, and we're so excited. From what we hear, it's going to be phenomenal.
Well, to all of
Awesome.
our listeners who are anywhere near there, you guys need to come out. You need to buy something from them. And I'm not just saying it. I met you guys 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm. Gosh,
Or
yeah,
so?
kind of blown, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, summer 5-6 months ago, and their stuff is phenomenal. So
Yeah. We
I'm not just saying it. Go out, support them, support the horror community. Go buy some stuff, and if you see me, say hello. So
would like to say quickly because like I'd say like probably half or more of our shows are with Street Arts Alliance, and there's a public Facebook group. It's like Street Arts Alliance, Street with a Z at the end.
okay,
It's pretty easy to find it. Join that page because there's like a probably 60% chance we would be at any of those given shows, and with those that's our big like start was with John and friends have been like super incredible and helpful for us. So a lot of those are in like Chicago suburbs.
Okay.
Gotcha.
We'll put a link
So
to that or
movie-
something. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
By the way, we will have all of your links for all of your socials and for your Etsy page and where you're going to be. We're going to put them on our pages as well. So any of our people can go and get on our page and check out your stuff.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
now, one of the things that I noticed when I seen your stuff were the Ouija boards,
Yeah.
which are really cool. You guys got to go check them out. Which was a great segue because tonight's movie is 2014's Ouija. So
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and we're going to have Jamie take us through some plot points of the film.
Yeah. Before I got started, I was curious if you guys have ever seen this movie before, because this was a first time watch for me.
It was the first time for
And it was
Okay.
time for me as well, believe it or not.
Which is kind of wild because I remember hearing about it in 2014 or like way back in the day, and it was when it came out, I remember it being like such a hype and such a big thing.
Right.
But I just never got around to it, so it was really exciting to be able to watch it like finally for the first time.
Same. And I don't know how I never watched this like sooner, but since we're all taking this little journey for the first time together, I'm just going to get on into it. Okay.
Awesome.
So Ouija. Also, do you guys say Ouija or do you guys say Ouija?
Ouija.
Ouija.
That's how we
Okay.
classify what we sell. We
sell
say spirit boards.
Spirit boards.
That's kind
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Okay.
I've heard them
Trademark
called
purposes.
I've heard them
Yes.
called Ouija, spirit boards, demon
Yeah.
boards,
Calling board. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Talking
Okay.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So appropriately, we start this movie with a couple gals who are preparing to play some Ouija board. And we get the rules, never play by yourself, never play in a graveyard, and you have to say goodbye. Now, I have to say, every time that we hear rules in a horror movie, I think it's a sign that they are going to be broken.
Yeah.
Pretty
You
much
like
happens every time. Okay. So, yeah, we flash forward a little bit into the future, and we have Debbie. She's one of our mains. She's now a teenager. She's got her Ouija board situation here, and she is getting rid of it, burning it. You know, something bad happened there, obviously. Then we have her friend Lane, who comes over to visit, tries to get her to come out. And Debbie reveals that she has been playing with the Ouija board and things have been going weird. So we go to Debbie in her house and she's eating. I have to say, I really like the cinematography in this scene because there's this cool little like POV like in the hall where we get to see her. The door opens up behind her. The burner on the stove turns on. Like spooky things are happening. The board is back. It didn't get burned at all. And then she looks through the planchette. She sees something. Her eyes go all possessed. And next thing we know, Debbie hangs herself with the Christmas lights. What did you guys think of this kill scene?
I mean, I don't know. Why was like, did the Christmas lights mean something, or was that just like what she had?
I did almost think the Christmas thing was going to be a little bit more of a plot point, or I was like, what time, where are we at in the year?
Yeah.
I will say, especially just because I am such a horror movie fan, and I even do like kind of the 2000, like the early 2010s horror where you almost could see it coming,
Yeah.
but it still was like,
Yeah.
it actually happened.
Yeah, like when like horror stuff shows like hangings happen, like it shows it. It's always it's always a little jarring if it's like super poorly done or whatever. It's just like, oh, okay, like usually you're just used to like the like fade to black or cutaway kind of thing. I don't know if you've watched like Haunting of Hill House, but there's like a character who gets like hung, and it like felt very similar. So it's like a kind of similar environment, like the hallway with like the staircase. It was like, yeah.
Agree. I love that show too. Oh my gosh, so dreary and amazing.
Yeah, I thought the kill myself. I thought it was very, unclimactic.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, no,
I'm like,
I was
we
like
know what's
waiting
gonna
for it to happen. Yeah.
And I know she was a tiny girl, but I'm like, those were some real powerful
That
lights.
is a good, yeah.
Okay, I'm like, those are some powerful lights. So,
No, those will last all season.
Yeah.
right?
She did.
Yeah.
She hung her.
Okay, so then we have Lane is at dinner with her boyfriend, and we kind of meet all of her other friends. We're kind of introduced to our little cast of characters here, and she's called home to hear the bad news about Debbie. Then we have the funeral, and our friends here are all gathered up. We're kind of still meeting everybody, and everybody's like, why? This does not seem right. This doesn't seem like our girl. Doesn't seem like something she would do. Something doesn't smell right here. We meet Pete. That's Debbie's boyfriend. Everybody kind of chats. She has this like really sad moment kind of where she goes into the closet and has a conversation with Debbie's mom. Hit me in the feels because, man, losing your best friend, that's a really hard thing. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so then, she's home watching the home movies of her friend. She pulls out all this stuff that, Debbie's mom gave her. She's just kind of remembering her. And through this, we learn that, her mom's not in the picture anymore. It's just like her sister, her and her dad. So just learning a little bit more about our main characters here. Okay. So now Lane and the boyfriend are going to watch over Debbie's house, which I have to say, that's like a weird situation a little bit because the parents are just like, can you watch the house for us while we're gone for an indefinite amount of time?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like they could have just made this about like older people, and they wouldn't have had to like make this weird whatever like scenario. But okay, yeah, fair.
I know. Okay. So, they go over to check on the house. We get a little foreshadowing because her boyfriend, I think his name's Trevor, is fixing the pool thing out there, the pool cover. We're going to see that come up later. You know, she finds the planchette, she finds the board. Let me see here. Let's see. Then at school, you know, Lane is talking to Pete and she's kind of trying to figure out, like, what happened? Did she say anything weird to you? Like, what's going on here? So we do learn a little bit about the fact that she's been worried about the situation after she's played with the Ouija board. She's kind of freaking out about everything that's going on. Okay. And so, and at one point I was like kind of wondering if they were trying to make Pete like a red herring. Did anybody else catch that? They were giving him kind of like weird vibes for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I literally couldn't tell if it was just like an acting issue or if that's what they were going for. I don't know. No offense, Pete.
Yeah, no offense, Pete. Okay, so basically Lane talks to her friends and is like, hey, I think we really need to go over to Debbie's house and we need to try to talk to her through this Ouija board that I found. We have to go, have to do it at the house, has to be where she was. So they get out the Ouija board, they put their hands on, you know, they start the whole process and they get a little message that says, hi, friend. And they believe that they're talking to Debbie, tell her they miss her, that whole thing. What do you guys think of their Ouija board scene? I've actually never played too. I've never played with one, so.
Well, I had a feeling it wasn't Debbie.
Yeah.
I'll
Pretty
say
sure.
that.
I was like pretty excited that Debbie was just like there ready.
I know, lucky, right?
I don't know. Like I actually haven't like, you know, I've played like with a Ouija board, but it was like a bunch of cousins and I, and we didn't like light candles or anything. We didn't do the circle thing or, you know, any of the setup that they did in the movie. So I really don't know if that's, you know, true to what people do in real life. But it's
Same.
fun, you know. I do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So, you know, things are a little weird. The lights go out, you know, and everything. They're kind of thinking like, well, you know, she probably needed to like subconsciously like heal from this a little bit. And she was subconsciously moving the planchette. That's what happened here, right? And like, you know, things are being weird. The light's swinging. Pete sees a ghost in the mirror and he gets pushed into the mirror. And then Lainey's boyfriend is just kind of like, you know, you need to get over your friend dying and stuff. You just need to get over it. And it's like,
Right,
come
I'm
on,
like,
man.
you're a dick, sir.
And so, yeah, everybody kind of goes to back to their lives, you know, doing their thing. And then things start getting weird because that's what happens after you play with one of these things. Trevor is like down in this tunnel. He's got the little chalk that he sees pop up. It says, hi, friend. You know, as the other friend, Isabel's leaving the restaurant, she sees hi, friend on her car. Pete gets it on his desk. Obviously, something isn't going right here. Because I don't think Debbie would be coming along and just like being like, hey, it's me. Hey, right?
Right.
Can't be good. Okay. So they decide to play with the Ouija again. And obviously, it's not Debbie. Obviously.
Let me ask you this. If you were the kid who's seen the ghost in the mirror and then had your head smashed into the mirror, would you play again? I wouldn't.
Personally, I would.
I'd be like, deuces,
I'm all
bitch, I'm out.
for a good scare, but no, that's
Right.
too much. That would be too much.
Yeah. I'm like, none of you people pushed me into the mirror. It wasn't a prank. Somebody who was not alive pushed me, so I might have to go. So
yeah. Okay, so they play again and they discover that it was never Debbie and it's this person DZ or DC. You know, at one point she looks through the planchette, which I thought was pretty cool, like looking through and seeing everything, and she sees her friend with her mouth sewn shut. I have to say, I'm a sucker for that like effect all the time. I love like seeing people's mouths stitched up. It's really, really creepy and I love it.
It is really cool.
Okay. And then it is like, that was probably my favorite special effect of the movie was the stitches in everybody's mouths. I thought that looked really good.
say it's like that's one of the stronger suits
So,
of the movie is the effects. Yeah.
Yeah, they did do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So then we get the spirit DZ, who we're not really sure what her deal is yet. You know, the board spells out mother tells them to get away. We see this old lady come like charging at them, a spirit. And yeah, so that was our little Ouija board session for that time. And then we have this awkward day after where everybody's kind of like, I don't really want to, that was weird. And so as our main character is looking through this box, she figures out that this little penguin is like a flash drive. And so she puts it in and she starts to learn a little bit more about how Debbie found this board because she sees video of Debbie playing it. And it turns out that she found the board there at the house. So, ooh, there's definitely something up with the house. Okay. And then things start happening to our friends. Isabel, one of the friends, she's flossing, and then her mouth gets stitched.
That was a wild scene.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was wild.
I think that was probably actually my favorite like kill
Yeah.
scene of the bunch
I think
of
so,
the
too.
movie. Yeah. It was really
think-
cool.
There definitely was, as soon as I was watching that, when she was looking in the mirror, because it's always the mirror.
Yeah, always.
If there's a scene like that, it was just something was going to happen. But I think it did kind of like catch me off guard a little bit with how they did that. It was pretty well
I
done.
don't remember, like, there wasn't a ghost that popped up or anything. It was just like the stitching thing happened,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that was like a pretty exciting, like, different take on the mirror thing.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So that happens. I mean, everybody is freaked out. You know, it's like, hey, you made us play. She's gone. We don't want to be next. That whole thing. But she does convince Pete to go back with her to the house. They go up into the creepy attic to start searching around and looking for things. Ethan, you're shaking your head no, like you wouldn't be up there in the attic.
Hell no. I'd be like, baby, I love you, but I'm gonna be at home. You wanna be a stupid bitch? Go yourself. Not gonna happen. Nope.
I've never had an attic, so you know, part of me is like, man, I need a house with an attic so I can go up there and find creepy stuff. But
I'm gonna bounce off that a little bit. Because I have had attics before, and a lot of my family back in the day, we would store a lot of stuff up in the attic. But as soon as I saw The Grudge, it was over.
oh yeah.
I was done. I was not going up in the attic. No way. No one could pay me. So I stay away from attics to this day. And I'm like, no.
I was always like weird with that. Like, I was always super apathetic towards like horror movies and stuff like that. Like, I loved that, but like, I just like, I don't know. I was like some demon child or something. Like, I would just go to sleep all easy and cozy, like no issues. And when we moved from like my first house growing up, we like opened up this little like crawl space that was directly off of my room, and inside it was like this old like bassinet like baby crib thing with like weird documents in it. It was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'd be like, nope, someone's trading rooms.
So that was the last time I was there
yeah.
alone. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've never found something like that. Wow.
We had an attic one time. It's one of the ones that you pull down and the
Those
steps
are
come
the
down.
eerie ones. Yeah.
That's creepy. So
Yeah.
I was having a horror night with some of my nieces and nephews and their friends, right? So I don't remember what we were watching, but all the lights are off, and all of a sudden you hear,
No.
and the door moved down. It didn't open; it just opened about like 2 or 3 inches, and everybody just stopped and like looked up, and I was like, guys. It's an old house. Now, it was not loose. It had never happened before. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, it's going to be all right. Calm down. Now, I'm shitting my pants inside. I'm like, it's fine. And then the light turned on. Yeah. See a bunch of teenagers scatter out of the front and back door of the house.
Sorry, I've got to go home. Yeah.
I had to like wrangle them back up. Their friends wouldn't come back in. I'm like, you all have to come in here because I'm in control of you. I'm like, you're at the house tonight, so you have to come in. But yeah, that was a little creepy.
That is so
There's
scary.
no light. There was like no light to turn it on or off downstairs. It was just one of those pull chains. So I still don't know how the hell it turned on.
That's scary.
That was my
Maybe there
other
was a
story. I'm
Ouija
sorry,
board
go
up
ahead.
there. Okay.
That light's on forever now. Yeah.
Right?
Still on.
Yeah, I no longer live in that house.
Yeah.
So
There we go. Okay. So yeah, they find all this kind of creepy stuff up there. They find a creepy little doll. They find some photos and stuff. And they start to kind of piece together, they get their research on and start to piece together some info about this DZ person. She was this missing girl, and apparently her sister, is still alive and at a mental institution after doing something horrible. So, she's like, okay, I'm going to go find the sister at the mental institution. And it's none other than Lynn Shay, who we love.
Love her.
Oh, I was so happy to see Lynn Shay. Always, always. And I'm like, okay, this is a good scene. Okay, so she does some talking to her and learns that their mother was like a spiritualist, and she did all these old seances and stuff in the house, and she got really wrapped up in it and consumed by it, and she couldn't turn it off or anything. And that she's the person who sewed, the daughter's mouth shut. And then Lynn Shay's character killed the mom. It's this whole thing. And so she tells Lane how she can stop all of this, because she's basically opened up a channel by playing that game. And I feel like that's what they always warn you about when you play with the spirit board. You can open up a channel to something else.
Do you know how to not open that channel?
Don't
play with the damn board.
You have to be pretty intentional to open the channel, from what I know.
I mean, selling the spirit boards, more than not, we'll have someone come up and
They'll be like,
they won't touch it, they don't look at it. And a lot of times, I mean, what we do is we curate spirit boards made out of love, and hopefully if you are hopefully if you are contacting spirits, they're good spirits. But we have said, or people have really asked us about like our feelings and how to play. We always say what we make is more centerpieces, and it is about the art form. We're not trying to summon any demons or possess anyone, but it really is. Yeah,
personally, no.
But it really is how you use it, and it really is about opening that door.
Yeah, and making sure you close that door. There are like rules. You can find them on the internet. Like you want to like make sure you bring it to goodbye before you stop using it. Pack it up securely and nicely, and just be respectful and all that. And just especially the more you believe in it, like that's the scarier it could be. Is what I believe. Your mind is a powerful thing for you. So. Yeah.
I agree. I mean, your intention and your mindset and everything is a really powerful thing. So I feel like that really plays a big part into like what your experience is going to be like. I have to say too, I'm obsessed. You guys did a Wicked like themed Ouija board, and it was so beautiful.
Yeah. I actually started working on like an entire Wicked line, so it's all pink and green. Today, actually, at the market we did at Flipside Brewery in Tinley Park, I was trying to sell it as a set, but all of our items are so individualized that sometimes people just attract to something. So I did sell a mushroom that had a pink top with a green bottom.
It's adorable.
It was the cute. I was so happy because Wicked is one of my all-time favorite things ever. I'm super excited about the movie. Side note. But I will be working on. I'll be working on a lot more Wicked products. Up until the release of the movie and after, and I'm excited to be able to like share that with everyone.
You guys were in Tinley Park, did you say?
Yeah, we were at Flipside Brewery.
It's like down the block from Sound Growler, basically.
Damn it, I wish I'd have known. I'd have come and had a drink with you.
I'm sorry.
I live right down the street.
Oh, next time we'll let you know.
Yeah. Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in, I'm not going to tell all my everything.
Maybe hit us up after that.
We'll do that as a private message. Okay. Anyway, so they basically, Lane and our friends get ready to go. They got the plan on what they need to do to end this whole thing. They need to find this little girl's body, remove the stitches from her mouth, and do that whole thing. So they go into the house. Lane has to crawl through this little tunnel and find this whole chamber with the body. There's candles in there. And yeah.
Can I ask this, though?
Yeah.
Have you ever smelt a dead body?
I have not, but I've heard they stink.
How in the hell was that body in there? And they weren't like, oh, wow, it smells like, I don't know, a decomposing body in here.
I mean, like, how long does, like, a smell, like, how long does that go for? Like, I don't know anything about, like, decomposition. So, like, I really don't know what that would smell like, and I really don't want to, ever, knock on wood. Yeah, but, like, it was very...
That's a good catch, though. I feel like there had to have been, like, some sort of scent permeating through the house.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That was, like, the whole, Jeffrey Dunham situation.
Jeffrey
was
Dahmer.
Dahmer, right? Dunham, yeah. I'm not I don't know
He
things.
just killed Jeff Dunham. So
well, this was like Jeff Dunham's stunt. That was okay, sorry.
Yeah, and so she's down there, she's working on this whole thing she's got to do with the stitches, and then we got this ghost mom who comes out here, right? The old lady. But then the mother, we got the ghost mom, and she comes in, and our little girl screams and just explodes her, blows her up, basically. So that was a little anticlimactic for me.
I
would have liked to see
a
little bit more of the mother.
Yeah.
And so they think that they have successfully destroyed the channel or whatever. They think they've successfully done this. They go back to their lives. But then it's not over yet, because Pete sees the little girl and everything, and then his guys get all possessed, and then he dies. So it's not over yet. Then we learn that Lin Shay, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the sister's real name. I'm just going to call her Lin Shay the whole time. We learn that Lin Shay tricked everybody, and the mom was actually good in trying to stop DZ and her from causing a huge ruckus. So the mother was actually good the whole time, and they were bad. So they have to go back and finish this thing. And we get the boyfriend launched into the pool, where we saw the pool cover earlier. I thought it was really cool how we see him floating in the room when he's like in there and they notice him. He's all wet and he just kind of poofs too. Yeah. Let's see. They're back in there trying to figure out what to do. The sister looks like she's going to get possessed. But then we have our friend Debbie, Ghost Debbie, come out, and she kind of helps save the day. Has like a little fight with DZ. And after that, they burn the body and the board. And everything seems like it's all good. Right?
You would think.
Or so you thought. Yeah.
Or so you thought, because then we have Lane flossing her teeth, which we know is a bad thing. And she finds the planchette and looks through, and that is the end of the movie.
Dentists hate her.
I know. Such anti-flossing messaging in this movie.
All right, we've got a couple of fun facts from the movie that I'll go over.
Sure.
After we do that, then we get into rating the movie. We do 1 through 10 here. So, okay. Charles Kennard was the founder of the Ouija board.
Okay.
Back in the 1800s. He said that it could be pronounced either Ouija or Ouija.
Okay.
And why is there 2 different pronunciations? He said that he contacted, I guess, the other side, but he asked the Ouija board what it wanted to be called, and it said either Ouija or Ouija. So I guess you get to just go ahead and pick whichever one that you want, whichever one you're more comfortable with. Because according to this dude, the board said, call me whatever you want. So.
Okay. I always called it Ouija board, but then I watched Witchboard, and they called it Ouija. So the whole time I'm like, have I been saying this wrong? Like, I don't know. So it's good to know that you can go either pronunciation.
Yeah,
you
I'd
can
never
go
do
either
that.
way.
Yeah.
I'm just really itching to make a Luigi board, so I always say Ouija.
Yes.
I love it. All right. When this was first shown to a test audience, it was a completely different movie,
Oh, wow.
and they hated it.
And then they liked this version, though.
Right? But
Okay.
they hated it. So they went and they changed most things about the movie and part of the cast and reshowed it, and they said this one is acceptable. So
Mhm.
according to the internet, because and it must be right because everything on the internet's true. So
I believe everything
right?
on the internet. Yeah.
No one other than the first target audience and the CEOs and the people who made the movie, no one has ever seen the full uncut first version of the movie. Apparently, it was so bad they destroyed it. They did say that they cut a few pieces of the first movie and intertwined it with this one, and they were like, well, if you watch it this time, you'll see that this is different than. And I was like, it ain't that freaking deep to me, homie. I ain't going through and watching this again. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe you after whatever you say.
Yeah.
All right, and that's all I got for fun facts because there wasn't much on this movie.
Okay.
I do have to ask. There was a sequel, correct? Didn't they do?
Yes, Origins of Evil. Now,
That's right. Okay, and
from what I hear, people say that one's much better. So I'm gonna give it a.
that's what I've heard as well. Yeah. So now that we're invested a little bit, I think we're going to go the full mile and check that one out as well. Yeah.
Yes,
I think I'm gonna have to too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't Mike Flanagan the director of the Origins, the second one?
I think so.
Speaking of haunted House of Hill House or whatever.
Yeah, that definitely would be like well worth the watch, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So why don't we go ahead and start with our guests? Start with Jeffrey.
All right. I'll be honest. I'm gonna get it a solid 5 out of 10. I think would be my rating. I think there were some really, really great parts of the movie. I think the special effects, and I also, when watching it, because I did not remember it being. I'm like, God, time is flying by. I don't remember it being from 2014.
No.
And so I had to kind of put myself in that young Jeffrey watching a 2014 horror movie.
Right.
And once I could get myself into that mindset after even the first few minutes of the film, I actually found myself enjoying it a lot more than comparing it to, classic horror or horror movies that are made these days, which are super production value. And but I will say I think it was very watchable. It did go by a little bit quicker than I thought. I think there were some key points or things that they could have included, brushed up on, to kind of pull you in a little bit more. It was almost seemed like it was from one thing to the next. And I wish I would have been drawn in a little bit more. But again, very watchable, and I will give it a solid 5 out of 10.
Okay. How about you, Luke?
I think that's a pretty fair rating. No, I could understand 4 maybe, but 5 I think is what I'd go with personally. I think for me, if horror is if it can hold my attention, that I'm probably gonna be happy with it. The only horror movies that I'm really not super big fan of are ones that are just boring, But you can have a great horror movie that's scary and intense, or you can have a really bad horror movie that's just fun to watch because it's really fun.
Right.
And I think this was a good, fun to watch movie, with pretty decent effects, especially for 2014.
Yeah.
I forgot about that actually. So for that time, that's pretty solid. It looks like something that could have been released recently, maybe.
Yeah.
I definitely think the story had some faults, the acting, some faults, and I don't know. I think like what got me the most invested was when they were playing with the Ouija board and they were like, wait, it's not Debbie, who is it? And they were just like, it's Mother. Like, Mother. It's Mother.
She's
Okay.
Mother.
She's Mother. Yeah, that was
Well,
my
you
favorite
need to
part.
know.
Yeah.
She's Mother. Yeah.
Okay, Jamie, you want to go ahead?
Okay, so I will say too, this was a PG-13 horror movie, and
Thanks.
yeah, and so that explains a lot, you know, as far as like the kills and everything like that. But I think for a PG-13 horror movie, it did a pretty good job because sometimes
Yeah.
PG-13 horror movies just have a different vibe, you know.
Yeah.
That being said, it wasn't my favorite. You know, the story could have been stronger. I actually would have liked to learn more about Mother. Like she was the one I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe in the second movie. Who knows?
Exactly. Maybe that's where I get my like extra dose of Mother.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to learn more about her. I was a little Ouija bored a few parts of the movie, but
I
you know,
love it.
I had to.
I love that.
Just a few parts. I would love to see like an R-rated version of this actually, you know, to have like kind of like more intense kills and to see if they would have like, I don't know, to have like some more mature themes, I guess, thrown into it. I would like appreciate that. All that being said though, it is a really watchable movie. It has a beautiful look. Like it has a nice clean, crisp kind of cinematography and look. I'm gonna give it like a 4.5. It's not the worst movie, but you know, it's not my favorite.
Definitely. Well, I have to agree with you. I had to remind myself that it was when I was rating it that this is a PG-13 movie. It's not a rated R movie. I'm not usually a huge fan of PG-13 movies because they're not bloody and gory enough for me, but you know, and I do know a lot about the occult and stuff. So I was like, you're doing that wrong. That's not how that happens. So I was like picking the movie apart and I'm like, all right, knock it off and just watch the damn movie and say if you like it or not. So once I got into that mind frame and quit picking stuff apart, I said, okay, fine. It's PG-13. I would have liked, you know, some gorier kills. I would have liked a little more backstory on Mother as well.
Yeah, and like some like actual plot, but here and there would be cool.
Yeah. But it's definitely worth a watch. I think you definitely should watch it. I would say I'm going to have to agree. I would say it's probably a 5.5. So I think we're all in the same.
Yeah, I'm glad we're all in agreement here.
It was like it was entertaining. I feel like there was just like a couple of like really major big issues for me, and one of them was just like, you know, after like 7 of their friends die, they like finally go to like her grandma or whoever the heck that was, and we're like, what do we do? And she's just like, just go do this. Obviously, like why didn't
I forgot about that? Yeah,
they didn't go to her first.
Yeah.
Nana always knows. Like, there's always a Nana who knows and will tell you, like, you can't play with that. Like, this is what you need to do to fix the problem. They should have gone to Nana, like, right away.
Right away. Start of the movie.
I will
Grandma
say,
always knows.
What's the actress's name? Like
Lin Shaye.
Yeah, she was the star of the movie for me.
Oh, she's an icon.
And like when the reveal happened, I felt scared for a second during that. Like her like email, like I was like, whoa, okay, you're doing it.
I had no idea that she was in this movie. I didn't think there was anyone like super like okay. So I was pleasantly surprised. I actually remember we were sitting on the couch watching this, and I was like, "No way!" But like that did make it worth a watch too, because she is an actor.
Yeah, she was great.
And see what they should have done at the end of the movie after everything was done. They should have faded out, and then the main character, you should have seen her walk back into the old folks' home, wheel that bitch over to the steps, and then roll her down. I would have given it an 8. I'd have been like, right there, bitch. Go ahead.
I would have given it bonus points for sure.
Right? It definitely would have been bonus points. Sure enough, I would have been like, no, I ain't forgiving it. Nope, that bitch is going down a flight of steps. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, that's Ouija or Ouija, however you want to say it, from 2014. Obviously wasn't our favorites, but still worth a watch. So if you listeners have seen it, please let us know what you thought. If you loved it, if you hated it, let us know. Any other thoughts on Ouija from you guys?
If you want to experience a portion of that movie, you can hit up Nethercrafts to get your own Ouija board and summon some spirits. Yeah, and it just may be Mother. Who knows?
Ooh.
Can almost guarantee it will be.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We will have all the links to your store and your social medias in the description, so everybody can check you guys out and follow you and get some awesome spirit boards. Yes. And yeah, for us, if you ever find yourself in a horror movie, don't have sex, don't do drugs,
and certainly don't die. We'll see you next time.
Bye.